Alright, so Thoughts to Ponder is a variety show, and the views expressed are not necessarily those of your girl Tamra Dawn. I created this show so that I can include the listeners, have y'all be a part of the show, and then I'm going to throw in a little razzle-dazzle for good measure. Episodes are going to air every other Monday, so make sure you still tune in every Thursday so you can hop on my train of thought. Make sure y'all also check out them podcast recommendations in the episode notes, and shout out to Sniper T for this beat. His information can be found there as well. So now that I got all that out the way, let's get it.
Hello, Tamra. This is Abe with Abe's Front Porch Talk. I just want to tell you I enjoy listening to your podcast and keep up the good work. You are truly a blessing from God.
Alright, so first things first, I definitely want to give a shout out and thanks to Abe for leaving the audio message. I'll be telling y'all, leave me a voicemail, leave me an audio message, but I really appreciate the feedback because I want to know how y'all feel about the show. I've been getting a lot of love lately, so I want to really start it off like that. For all y'all who saw my audio preview or whatever, you listened to the last episode where I talked about my cousin passing away. She passed away on the 21st, so I really appreciate just all the condolences and just the people who have reached out to me. I'm not always good at like responding or receiving stuff like that, but just definitely know that it really means a lot to me that y'all even took the time to acknowledge my loss or whatever. So I really appreciate that. Continue to keep my family in your prayers. She has a newborn son who will never know his mother, his father, and my auntie having to like navigate all that. Just keep my family in your prayers, plus everyone who's hurting for her loss. But I got a special treat for y'all today. I'm super excited about this because I got a couple guests for y'all, right? So
what's up?
So that's one of my guests. My guests today are my daughters. That's Kayliana. She's my senior who is graduating this year. And then we got Janae in the background, little laughy laugh. She got that old man wheeze when she laughed like she dying of an asthma attack. So I decided, I've been wanting to have them on the show, so I'm glad they finally agreed. I about had to threaten them to, right. Yes, especially Kayliana, because how we on the way. Man, listen, she just got off work a little while ago, and I was like, okay, are you sure you want to do this? You know what I mean? Because part of my creative process is getting the episode together right before I record. I'm like, are you sure, Kayliana? You feeling this? Like, you gonna be nervous? Yeah, I'm good. Man, listen, as soon as we get up in this house, she want to act like... Sorry. As soon as she get up in this hotel, I guess we should say. Now she want to act all different and brand new, so I did have to get her in line or whatever. But since we on that, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on right now. So, we got the Rona, that little big Rona, as I like to say that's why I usually say on Twitter. I say it on Facebook too. But how y'all feel? Okay, so Kayliana, in case you missed it, I did tweet this. I put more information on my Facebook just because, it is what it is. But she got a full ride scholarship.
Period. Because, I don't got no money to be paying for this at all. I got like $27. We're going to have to stretch that 4 years.
So, sorry. Yeah, so there's that. She got a full ride scholarship. So that, man, I'm, besides relieved that I don't have to worry about how she's going to pay for college, I'm, super excited because she worked really hard. She took the ACT twice because she wasn't feeling her first score, and she just really, switched districts her junior year and had to learn kind of like a more advanced curriculum, And so, I'm just super proud of her. But how do you feel about like how your senior year, like, what's your thoughts right now?
All right, so my thoughts right now. Honestly, I would be fine if we didn't have online classes because I hate it. I don't really do the work, but it's too much. Like, I'm at home. I don't want to do that. And I don't have... The teachers don't even help us. They're like, okay, you can talk to me during these days at these hours, but anytime after that, don't talk to me. And here's the work. You just got to look at the notes and figure it out. How? Why? When? Where?
Janae, how you feeling about that?
I don't like online classes. That's not the move.
It's not the move.
No,
I mean, school in general.
But like, I'd rather be face to face, even though I don't really take school like that. But like, it's easier to learn because I can actually ask the questions.
Because face to face with it can't be beeping through no FaceTime.
Okay. So, Kayliana, I mean, prom.
I wasn't going.
Okay.
I'm not spending no money on that.
Okay, so you don't care about prom. What about this virtual graduation?
I ain't going.
What you mean you ain't going?
I mean, I'm not logging in. I'm not.
So, in case you missed my tweet, because I didn't... Bruh, I just got an email from her school talking about... This is so ghetto. Like, there's about to be a virtual graduation, bruh, on Facebook and YouTube. Like, what? That is so ghetto. And so, I don't know. They may potentially have...
We gotta type in clapping.
They might potentially have a, regular graduation in July. We'll see. But it's like, I think she's getting her diploma May 1st because her last day of school is this Friday. So it's like... What is, like, I don't know. So, yeah, that's kind of where we at. And then, like I've kind of talked about on other episodes, we're in transition, in between houses, in an extended stay hotel, all in the same room, and I'm working from home. So, we literally are together all day, every day, looking at the same four walls. So, how y'all feeling about what's going on right now with that? No? What you mean, no?
No, this ain't the move. Literally, not the move. No.
Well, no, we didn't move yet, but why? What are some of your frustrations?
I like my space. I love y'all. I really do, but I like being able to be on the phone without everybody hearing my every breath.
Don't nobody care, though.
And... like being able to sleep on a bed,
right,
and not on the floor like a dog, being shunned to the floor.
Okay, first off,
you wanted to be on the floor, and then you keep complaining.
This is what we not gonna do.
Stay on the floor.
No, she's making that choice to be on the floor because the room we're in has 2 beds, and then I was like, oh, y'all could share a bed. That wasn't what they wanted. Okay, that's cool. So I got her an air mattress. And what do you choose to do, Janae? Choose. Don't try to make it seem like I just said go lay on the floor.
I chose to sleep on the floor because this air mattress is not
She chose it. That's the thing.
And then she complains every day. And then try to get in my bed. Like,
day.
Bro, if you don't get on the floor where you belong.
Really, Kayliana?
Sorry, but you chose that.
All right, so you need your space. I'll go next. Man, listen. I love y'all. Like, y'all know I would do... Y'all know I love y'all, but...
Actually...
I never was a stay-at-home mom, ever. That was never the life that I aspired for. So, like, working from home, and y'all know I'm in the social work field, and then not having that drive home to kind of debrief my day, and then it's just like... As soon as I clock out, they just right there, like, been there the whole time, like, and then I'm just going crazy just because it's like, I'm literally looking at the same 4 walls all day. Like, if, at least when I first got into this and I was going to work, at least, I was going somewhere, but now I'm not, so, and I feel the same way, like, when I'm on the phone, I mean, I don't want them just right there all up in my conversation when I'm on the phone. So I find myself going to take the trash out and then just, sit in the van for a while just because I just want to be by myself. Or like them 10, 15 minutes when I go pick Kayleon up from work and I'm by myself, I'm like, I could breathe just because. And it's no shade to y'all. I'm just a person that, like, I need my space. Like, I need my own time for just me. You know what I mean? Just so I can be revived and, like, deal with whatever. But how you feeling, Kayleon?
Well, I don't have any friends, so I don't need to talk to anybody. But other than that, I'm living my best life. I can bother them at any time in the day.
Okay.
I mean, I do want my own room, but this is cool.
Let's talk about Kayleon. Okay. So, I work 8 to 4:30, and I'm just kind of at the point where it's like, y'all wake up when y'all wake up. Like, it's whatever. Now,
you was doing
Janae,
that before, but
not like this, though. Nah. So, Janae's always been a morning person, so pretty much as soon as I wake up, she's up. That's not how Kayleon is. That's not her
I'll
life.
wake up and go back to sleep.
Right. And so, but then what happens is, so I work 8 to 4:30, so I still get up around 6, 7, whatever, depending on, I've been like real tired lately. And
7, 8, 9, 10.
No, how?
Right, because
definitely have
going off for like 40 minutes.
Got me choking. That ain't the point. The point is I'm on time for work, which is 8 o'clock, dressed and ready to go. Boom, for the video call. For the video call.
For that alarm, because I'm trying to sleep. I wake up at 10.
Do you
30,
really?
5.
No, let's add a couple hours to that. But anyways, I'm not. Yeah. So then when it hits about 11 o'clock at night, when I'm trying to go to bed, that's when Kayleon comes to life. And she literally, we've been together all day. You don't need to say hi to me. Like, we've been talking all day. She'd be like, hey, standing over me like a thief in the night. This shadow I just see.
Like a thief in the night.
Hi. What? How you saying hi? Like, we just got together. So yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. So, but other than that, you cool with it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nah. This
Same
ain't
I guess
the
I
move.
care about my family more than they care about me.
I care about you. I just don't want to be in the same room as you 25/8.
Here she
We share
go.
rooms
I don't
for
want to be in the
years.
same room as anybody 24/7. Like, I just need to breathe or
So I go in
whatever.
the bathroom, chill there for a few
She
hours.
really do be, but you know what's funny is because, like, I don't normally be like, oh, take as long a shower as you want, but since
Taking 4-hour showers.
since utilities
I literally
is
stand there
included.
and just think most of the time. Like, I clean myself and then I stand there and think.
Well, she get to think as much as she want now because I ain't paying this water bill, so I don't care. So that's a plus,
Yeah.
because I don't never be like,
And they got a vending machine, so that's a plus.
Wasting
girl,
all your money on snacks
I'm about to
you
say
don't
we
need.
can go to the store. That is such a waste of money,
Well, it's downstairs, so.
I guess.
Or we go driving.
Yeah. So what we have been doing though to kind of like, man, is when I get off, there's this track that we've been going to just kind of walk. I've been doing driving lessons with them and stuff like that. So it's kind of like,
I know a senior who don't know how to drive is tragic.
we wasn't even gonna focus on that.
Somebody
but
was still think it, so I'm just putting
I'm
it
pretty
out there.
sure nobody
It's
cared.
okay, first off.
No, I'm saying like no. Okay, whatever. Anyways, don't come for her if you was okay.
Right, because I'll
Period.
kill you.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I
Y'all
would never
say-
kill somebody
Oh,
and say it
gosh.
out loud.
I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna edit that out because
say it's me.
she is not.
That's
She
not
just
her.
be saying stuff sometimes. I
bored.
apologize for that. She means no harm. She ain't gonna bust a grade.
Literally.
I mean, when I
the
chew.
basket today that was with the snacks.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so what we're about to do is we're about to take a quick little break, and then we're gonna get off into the topic that is really what we really about to talk about. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, I highly suggest you use Anchor, and here's why. Now, first things first, it's free. And you can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I'm talking dollar bills, y'all. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to the major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of others, so that's one less thing you gotta worry about. And they got all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast in one spot, and you can do all that from your phone or your computer, so in my opinion, it's really the easiest way to make a podcast. Now, if that's what you're looking for, and you're ready to jump on it, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Alright, y'all, we back or whatever, and so I had a whole episode called Make It Make Sense, and I decided that I'm going to add that as a segment to the Thoughts to Ponder episode, just because there's always something that I see on the internet or something I experienced that I need to make it make sense. So the Make It Make Sense topic of the day is the whole Karen versus the N-word. So in case you missed it, I saw it's a meme that I saw on Facebook, but it actually started off as a tweet on Twitter. And a lot of times when I see stuff on Facebook, I'll go to Twitter to see if it's trending, because that's how you know it's really popping out on these streets, if it's on Twitter. And so there's a meme that says, "Dear millennials, stop saying Karen. Karen is a sexist and racist term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of women's right to stand up for themselves." And Emily, the woman who tweeted this, and yes, I'm finna put her all on blast because she put it all on Twitter, so Emily Swaven, yes, the K word is stronger than the N word, at least currently. Misogyny and patriarchy has been around longer than slavery. Just don't use either, okay? And the reason why I put her just everything out there is because I'm a firm believer that if you don't want people pulling up receipts on you, don't tweet it. Period. Don't put it on Facebook. Don't record it. If you notice, I don't cuss on my podcast, and there's just certain stuff I don't want just out there attached to me like that. So, plus I don't feel like making the episodes explicit is really why. All right, so initial thoughts on that meme. Now, the reason I was able to lure, which sounds crazy, so draw my children, shut up. The reason I was able to draw my children in to actually hop on the podcast, because as I said, I think it was, I don't know, on one of these episodes, I said I wanted them to record with me, and it's been something we've kind of been talking about for a while. But Kayliana is very passionate about just justice, and they go to a predominantly white school, and so they've had some very interesting experiences. So before we get into the whole Karen versus N-word thing, why don't we talk about some of the experiences you've had just at your school? Oh, Janae, you look ready. Okay, go ahead.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, my experience at my school, so I started going to a predominantly white school in middle school because I moved. Yeah, we moved in the middle
of her 8th grade year.
And so when I moved...
She's a sophomore, by the way.
Yeah, when I moved, it was just different because the school I went to, nobody ever did their work, honestly. Like, teachers honestly didn't really care. And then moving to the school the district I'm in now.
She went to a predominantly Hispanic school, actually, before.
So, our education wasn't as good.
We all were poor. That's the real thing.
So our education wasn't as good, but, moving to my middle school, I got bullied in middle school because the way I had my hair, the way I dressed, because I was, one among other people, but one of the only black girls, and I was bold, and I just spoke my mind, and I have no filter, honestly.
Yeah, she needs to work on
which I don't understand why they're surprised about that, because that's our stereotype.
Exactly. But, there would be drama, and I don't do drama at all, and they would just, get mad at it, and I'm just
get out my face
they
right now.
They would, try to fight me, or be I'm gonna fight you. Okay. And they're you don't care? Why would I care? I'm not about to ruin my entire school career when I want to do something with my life because you don't like me for...
Because you know they go sue you.
Because you don't like me for these 4 years of high school that we're together. Cool. I don't care. I'm not about to ruin my entire life for you. Or another thing, because I am someone who wears big hoops. Yes, I rock the big hoops.
Bigger the hoe, I guess.
Watch your mouth.
I like my big hoops. They go with my personality. Like, if somebody was to know me, that's just me. And so a big issue is me having hoops, and I don't understand because they're earrings. Everyone at my school wears hoop earrings, even if they're baby hoop earrings. Everybody wears them. So because being a black girl, I'm ghetto, I'm loud, and I wear big hoop earrings, it's an issue now. Or my hair, when I cut my hair off, that's an issue. Why? I don't understand.
All right. Kayliana, what has your experiences been? Because Kayliana didn't switch. She's a senior, so she didn't switch districts until she was a junior. So, because I allowed her to finish out her sophomore year at the previous school because she was in a dance class. She's very into dance and had a performance that she had worked really hard towards. So I didn't switch her. So what has your experience been since switching districts?
Well, all my life I had to fight at this school. I literally had to fight for what I believe, like not saying the N-word, because you won't ever understand. And then people are always like, it's not that big of a deal. If you're white, I really don't care what you think about if it's a big deal or not, because you're never going to have the same experience, or you're never going to feel the same things certain people feel about it. And I mean, it was good. I had certain teachers who would educate themselves and ask me questions about it. Like my sociology teacher, I loved him so much. He would always ask me questions about current events or how I felt about certain things, but people were just ignorant. And like being white and not knowing about stuff isn't an excuse anymore. Like, it's 2020, we got internet, you better look that stuff up. It's not that hard. And if you don't understand it, don't be rude about it and make it seem like my feelings and my opinion about a situation isn't valid because you don't agree with it. So
that's good. Yeah. Janae, you had your hand up.
Or like with the whole, I'm in a gang. Why is that cute to act like you're about to go shoot somebody? Or
who, the people at your school?
Yeah, or like you're selling drugs. Why is that cute? You can ruin, like, people ruin their, like, people who I know who have done that, they don't do it because, oh, it's cute. I'm doing this because I want to be cool. They're actually doing it to fight for survival because they have no other way to make money. Or that's all they know because that's what they come from. So why are you out here portraying like you're about to do something that you're not?
It's a costume, supposedly.
So let's go on a sidebar that I'm glad you went there. Do you feel like the music that y'all listen to, because, man, listen, I used to listen to some stuff when I was in high school, but when I hear some of the stuff y'all listen to, I be like...
Shoot up the whole...
I be like, what the heck? So... do you feel like the music that you listen to glorifies that to make it seem like it's a costume or it's cute or it's whatever?
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, for me, like, I listen to shoot up people, rob people.
I promise I'm not raising her to be like that.
I know it's wrong. Like, I wouldn't personally do that. And I know people shouldn't do that. I mean, it probably is wrong that I'm listening to it, but it's all about if you are smart, honestly. And, I mean, we shouldn't... see, that's hard. We actually talked about this in sociology, but I don't know.
All right, that was just a little thing I thought of. I like to play devil's advocate because I don't really kind of share my opinion until the end. So let's go ahead and move forward. So... your initial thoughts on the Karen versus the N-word meme that we talked about. What are your initial thoughts on that?
I just find it funny that a white woman is trying to tell us that the K-word, Karen, is worse than the N-word. Like, if you don't sit down somewhere far away, you need help, you need to be educated. Like, first of all, Karen is not only for white people, white women. I mean, sometimes y'all be the main ones making a big deal out of everything, but it can be... I saw this video, it was this Native American woman making a big deal out of something, and they called her a Karen. Like, it's not just for you. And it's not even, like, if you're acting like a Karen, then you're a Karen. If you're not, then you're not. The N-word, like, if you're black, you're the N-word. That nothing can change that. So,
your thoughts, Janae?
Or like with Karen, it's somebody's name. So what are you gonna do? Not call a Karen by her name? But like, if you're like, it's never gonna be the same thing. Karen has just started in like 2019, 2020. That's new. Technically,
it's a trend, first of all.
Like, it started on TikTok. If you're getting mad over something that started on TikTok, first of all, you're a millennial yourself, because who gets mad over
this? Is
like,
about to be over.
If you're like up there, like 30s, 40s, 50s.
Whoa, watch out.
Okay, 40s, 50s, and you're getting mad
I'm definitely about to be 40.
40s, 50s, 60s, getting mad over somebody calling you a Karen, then clearly that's just who you are. And really, honestly, that kind of pertains to boomers. Like, we're just
okay,
honest.
boomer. Okay,
like that's really how that started. It doesn't pertain to like.
It's a mindset.
Exactly. It's not like it's not the same. Like she said, you're born, and like if you're black, you're born that. Like you can't change that, no matter where your background, where you come from.
We're gonna switch. It's not really switch. We're just gonna piggyback off this. So, and I'll put the link to this video in the episode notes so you can see the Facebook video. Now, I will say that from what I gathered from the Facebook post is that it's an edited version of the video, so they kind of condensed it. But the whole point is there is a group of moms, as they continuously, as they say throughout the whole video, in the park. Now, mind you, we got the Rona out here. A lot of parks are closed or whatever, so technically they shouldn't have been there. And the police come, and they're trying to get them out of the park. They're just trying to do their jobs, and we're not going to get into this whole tyranny or something someone said, because I actually made a post trying to like get people's opinions on what their thoughts were on the whole Karen versus the N-word thing or whatever. And I specifically asked for white women's opinions, mainly because the meme was geared towards them, because I wanted to know their thoughts. And then it's just so beautiful how life works, is because then this video of these women in this park protesting the fact that they were not allowed to be in the park that they weren't supposed to be in because the park is closed. So they're upset because they're taxpayers, and they're like bucking up to the police in ways that I would never, because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have gotten as far as they did. Like, let's keep it real. And then the woman says, "Arrest me." She literally said, "Arrest me." And then when he says he's detaining her, then she's just wilding out, talking about, oh, you don't want to do this and this, that, and the other. And it's like, bruh. And so I shared it because I'm like, okay, is this Karen behavior? Because, you know, and so that's where that came. And then the next thing that I noticed is apparently there's a whole movement called the hashtag Don't Call Me Karen. And it's trending on Twitter, and it's trending on Instagram. And it's interesting because when I started doing some research, it's like the comments that I've seen is that these people want to be so... what did someone say? People want to be oppressed so bad. And it's just like, what I'm going to do is I actually looked up the definition of Karen, and I looked up the definition of the N-word, and I'm going to put the links to both of those. They're both from dictionary.com. You know me, if you're not new, I like to look things up. I like to know exactly what things mean. If you're new, that's how I rock. I don't usually share my opinion until the very, very end, because I just want to give you all the facts. That's kind of why I'm letting the girls lead this. So we will start off by defining Karen. So Karen is a mocking slang term for an entitled, obnoxious, middle-aged white woman. Especially as featured in memes, Karen is generally stereotyped as having a blonde bob haircut, asking to speak to retail and restaurant managers, to voice complaints or make demands, and being a nagging, often divorced mother from Generation X. Now, when I started looking at, though, the origin of the word, because that's literally how it's defined on dictionary.com, and I was kind of like, dang, at first. But kind of like one of y'all said, the whole okay boomer thing with baby boomers. And actually, Karen has been closely associated with baby boomers since 2017. So this actually, though, originated in 2010 is about when they said this. So that's barely 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure we know the N-word's been around way longer than that. But it's basically, despite the stereotype of it being a white woman, Karen, I'm trying to look for where I saw. Okay. So it's predominantly used in social media on memes when complaining about an obnoxious, ignorant, or difficult woman or the stereotype of such woman. And then it even says Karen may also be used to call out, older adults considered to have narrow-minded viewpoints. So even though the initial definition did say that it's a white woman, the origin of the word doesn't necessarily tie it to a race. It does tie it to a woman, but a specific woman behaving in a specific way. And so that is what it says about Karen. Now, let's move on to the N-word. The N-word is a contemptuous term used to refer to a black person, a contemptuous term used to refer to a member of any dark-skinned people. And in case you don't know what contemptuous means, because I didn't at first, so I had to look it up, showing or expressing contempt or disdain, scornful, disrespectful. And so then when you get into the origin of the N-word, it's an interesting thing because it's a way different. It doesn't mention social media because social media was nowhere in the picture when the N-word came about. Hold on, let me scroll. So the N-word, the origin was in the year 1640 to 50.
Mad for what? 2010.
And then on top of that, all that it says is that it's an offensive term for a black person, an offensive term for a member of any dark-skinned race. That's it. Like, dog. That's, and I'm going to put the links to both dictionary.com sites for both words in the episode notes. And now I'm going to give my thoughts, because if you notice throughout this whole episode, and at first I was going to go ahead and say the N-word for the point of education, but because I'm just, for whatever reason, adamant that I don't want to make any of my episodes explicit, and I've said that before, that's literally the only reason I'm not saying the word in this episode. But the fact that I'm not saying the word throughout an entire episode because I don't want the episode to be explicit should kind of tell you everything that you need to know about how these words are nowhere in any way, shape, or form the same. Now, yes, if a Karen is behaving in a specific way, I guess you could say that's rude or whatever to call someone out on their behavior, I guess, because what I gathered from Karen is it's dependent upon their behavior. It's not just any white woman. Get aside the whole blonde hair and all that. It's all about how you're behaving. Whereas the N-word never said anything about the way you behaving. And I specifically looked up the word with the ER, not the A, because people try to, it just means this, that, and the other. No, let's get to the origin of the word. Because I remember when I was in college and I took an ethics class, I actually wrote a paper on is it ethical for people to use the N-word as slang? Like, I wrote a paper about it, and I looked up the history of the word, and it was very interesting, and it was actually very eye-opening to me because I had a different opinion when I started the paper than I had by the time I finished doing all the research and all that stuff. That's why a lot of times, like for pretty much every episode that I do, I look up and do a little digging to kind of see if whatever I feel about it in the beginning is different. But let me tell you something. In no way, shape, or form did I ever really think this meme was real at first. Like, I laughed at it, and then I went to Twitter and I was like, wait, what? And then when I saw the "Don't Call Me Karen," like, literally, if you do hashtag "Don't Call Me Karen," it's trending on Twitter. Like, I looked today before I recorded just to see, because I saw it, I think, on Google, and it's like, are you serious? Like, if it's associated with your behavior, how is that equivalent to something that's something you can change? Like, if someone says I'm acting like a B and they call me a B and I'm behaving in a way that is defined as B behavior, and then I change my behavior, they're not going to call me a B no more. Now, I'm not saying we should be out here disrespecting people, but I'm just saying the N-word, all that said, is about race. We can't change our race. Like, I don't care what, I mean, I ain't about to lighten my skin, but I'm just saying, like, I can't change my race. My daughters can't change our race. Like, no black person, we just were born this way. We didn't have a choice. Nobody asked us, hey, do you want to be black? And we was like, oh yeah, that's the move. No, I existed, and it was like blackness, melanin popping, black girl magic, and whatever. So it's like, I just don't understand how people could be, like, for real serious that something that is associated with behavior, that's all that talked about was behavior. And I looked up the definitions for a reason. And it's interesting because some of the people that commented on my Facebook they were like, is this real? And I'm like, yep, it's very real. And this one woman commented, and it's interesting because she used all these terms. Hold on, I'm actually gonna read her, because I thought it was interesting. And it's not like she was trying to say, can I find it or no? Okay, just kidding. I wanted to quote it, but I'm just gonna say that she specifically typed out a bunch of derogatory terms in her comment, but she still said N-word. Like, she didn't type out the N-word. And it's not like she was saying they were the same. She actually was coming from a biblical approach, and just saying it's just all evil, period. But I just thought it was interesting that she didn't type out the N-word. She said N-word. And we're going to end it on this note, because a meme I saw today, it has the whole stop saying Karen, da-da-da-da. I'll say it again just to bring it back to the forefront. Stop saying Karen. Karen is a sexist and racist term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of women's right to stand up for themselves. And there's some comedian underneath that's pasted into this meme, and I think this was from a real comedy show. He said, if you're comparing the badness of two words and you don't even say one of them, that's the worst word. And that's the thing. Emily tried to tweet it and be like, the K word. No, the original meme said Karen and said N-word. So it's like, if you not even going to say it, you can't even say they're on the same level. And we're just going to end that topic on that. So I definitely want to thank y'all for listening. As always, I hope you have a great night, great day, great whatever time of day you listen to this. I hope you tune in Thursday so you can ride my train of thought again. Holla. So first things first, shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes. Now, like I say on social media, I want y'all to interact with me. So here's a few ways you can do that, and the links and whatnot to all these methods are in the episode notes as well. Now, you can leave me a voicemail. Call 720-457-4022. You can email me. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. And then you can go ahead and slide in the DMs, just not on no weird stuff. You can also like the Facebook page, and the link on there goes to my email as well. Now, what I need y'all to do is pay attention on my socials for when I ask for feedback for the Thoughts to Ponder episodes that air every other Monday, because the reality is that y'all feedback is what makes those episodes dope. So, leave me a voicemail, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email me. Just holla at your girl.